Okay, let's dive right into this. If Canada is on your radar at all, as a place to work, study, or maybe even build a whole new life, then you are definitely going to want to pay close attention. The country is overhauling some of its most important immigration policies, and believe it or not, the very first of these changes are starting to happen right now. For a ton of people all over the world, the answer to this question is a big yes. But as you probably know, figuring out how to get there can be, well, pretty complex. And now it's about to change. So if you're just starting a plan or you're already in the middle of your application, this is for you.
That's right. Canada has officially started to roll out a bunch of new immigration changes starting this week. And listen, these aren't just little tweaks here and there. We're talking about changes that are set to really redefine the entire process for visa applicants, for foreign workers, and for anyone hoping to get permanent residency over the next couple of years.
So what's actually different? What's really changing? Well, the government has basically built these updates around four main ideas. Let's break down exactly what they are.
Okay, so we're looking at four key areas. First, higher application fees, which is definitely going to impact your budget. Second, and this is a good one, a much-needed speed up in passport processing. Third, some new rules for work permits that could totally shift which jobs are in high demand. And finally, a revised system for what they call provincial nominations. Each one of these hits a different but absolutely crucial part of the whole immigration journey.
And there's some genuinely good news here. One of the biggest aims of all these changes is to just make things more efficient. The government is promising to move away from those slower, super complex systems and towards a faster, more streamlined process for things like passport processing. And I think that is a change most people will be very, very happy to see.
But of course, it's not all just about speed. Those increased fees, they're obviously going to change the financial planning for anyone applying. And the new rules for work permits and provincial nominations, well, they're set to change the actual criteria and the pathways that people use to get into the country. That could really reshape the opportunities that are available.
Which brings us to a really important question. Why now? What's the real reason behind this massive update? Let's get into the official explanation.
According to the authorities, it really just boils down to two main goals. The first one, like we said, is efficiency. But that second part of the quote, that's just as important, maybe even more so. Giving provinces more control. This points to a really big shift in their strategy.
So what does giving provinces more control actually mean in the real world? Well, it's all about this idea of provincial nomination. Basically, instead of a one-size-fits-all approach from the federal government, the individual provinces are going to get a much bigger say in choosing immigrants who have the exact skills that their local economies are desperate for.
So with all of this in mind, let's try to figure out who is going to feel the impact of these new rules the most.
The reality is, these changes are going to touch pretty much every single stage of the immigration process. It doesn't matter if you're applying for a temporary visa, if you're looking to work in Canada, or if you're already on that long road to becoming a permanent resident, this new framework is going to apply to you.
And this is the crucial point, really. Your current status doesn't make you immune. If you are anywhere in the Canadian immigration pipeline, from your very first thoughts about applying to waiting for that final approval, you absolutely need to stay on top of how these new developments could shape your next steps.
Okay, let's clear up the timeline. I know I've said that changes are starting this week, but that they're for 2026. That can sound a little confusing, right? So how is this all actually going to work?
The best way to think about it is not like flipping a switch, but more like a gradual rollout. The first pieces are being put into place as we speak, but the entire new system, with all of its parts working together, is targeted to be completely up and running by 2026. So, for anyone applying between now and 2026, it means you'll be navigating a system that's kind of in motion. Some rules might be new, while others might still be from the old system. It's a period of transition for sure, and that means staying up to date is going to be more important than ever.
So, to just quickly recap the essentials here. The cost and the actual steps to immigrate to Canada are changing. The big goal they're talking about is a more efficient system where provinces get more power to pick people based on local needs. And just remember, this isn't happening all at once. It's a phased process leading all the way up to 2026.
And that leaves us with one final thought. These reforms promise a smarter, faster system that's supposed to better serve Canada's economy. But with higher fees and all these new rules, the big question that's still out there is, will these changes actually make Canada's welcome mat bigger and more accessible, or just more selective and more expensive? I guess only time will tell.